Now, I know we've covered the Ignis roughly about a month ago, and I wasn't even going to record this originally, it was just something I was gonna do on my own. But then I thought, what if it ends up being really good? You see, I was playing around with primary Crux, trying to figure out which weapon would pair with it the best, and no matter what I did, I would always end up back with the Ignis Wraith. But why? Well, I've always tried to make the Ignis Wraith work without ham-fisting in crit and hunter munitions, and I was somewhat successful, but it never felt quite right. No matter what I did, crit always seemed to be the way to go, even though the weapon only has a 17% crit chance, which is not bad, but it's also not tremendously high. Despite that, it ends up being worthwhile on most builds because it's just another way to scale damage, especially since the crit multiplier is above average at 2.5x. But with primary Crux adding in a ton of status chance as well as ammo efficiency, we finally might be able to make it work without crit. So let's give it a shot, shall we? This is still a really good build, by the way, and I would recommend it for Steel Path, but today we're gonna try something else, so let's move it over to config B. Today we're gonna use primary Crux. This is one of the new arcanes on weak point hit, which with the Ignis is basically every hit because, well, it's flamethrower. Gain plus 30% status chance and plus 6% ammo efficiency for 10 seconds, stacking up to 10 times. Build should be pretty straightforward. Serration for damage, chamber for multi-shot. We're probably gonna run primed cryo rounds for big blast. Yeah, this is just too much damage to skip on that. Let's get corrosive. This works really well with blast. That's not gonna work. Hold on a second. Let's get aptitude. I really don't want to break this build, so we're gonna have to swap rhyme rounds with elementalist. Hold on. There we go, so that's fine, and now we can move that over there, and that gives us corrosive and blast. Lovely. We can easily run acceleration because we have the efficiency and elementalist for the status damage. That looks pretty good to me. Let's go try it out. Dude, that stacks up so fast. Yeah, that's awesome. Also, look at the ammo count. That's going down very slowly. Additionally, the damage is absolutely terrific. The single target is a bit on the weaker side, which is to be expected from a corrosive and blast build, but I have a feeling that all this needs is just like a little bit of extra oomph, and it's gonna be fabulous, absolutely fabulous, because if there are at least two enemies standing next to each other, the damage is actually really nice. Let's do another test, this time with Nourish. I feel like that's like all this needs, really. Oh, Yep, that pretty much fixes the single target issue in its entirety. That's awesome. I think this might be it. I think I finally did it. Let's add Harold into the mix. Let's switch him over to Blast and Ellie. I kind of want to see how far I can push this. Yo, dude, this is sick. Yeah. My god. Look at, yeah. This is, like, this has to be better than the Hunter Munition setup, right? Like, this is so nice and very smooth. Let's try Sentience. Yeah, they're actually resistant to corrosive. Yo, get destroyed. Wowee, that's a lot of damage. Eeny, meeny, miny, murmur? Sure. Ooh la la. Yeah, dude, this is awesome. Yeah, this is basically what I've been trying to do for like 3 years now. Now, if we really want to go ham, we could add Avenger. I don't really count this as scaling crit, it's just a bonus sort of thing, because you do have a 2.5x crit multi, but we're not actually scaling crit, it's just like a little bonus that we get on top. Oh, baby, that is saucy. Well, let's go do some missions then. Damn, this feels so smooth. It kind of feels like a solid Ignis build on the star chart, basically. We've scaled our way to the point where this feels like it used to feel on the star chart. An alternative thing you could do here actually is strip armor some other way, like use Scarab Swarm or some other ability or even a pet, and then run corrosive and no, not corrosive, blast and electricity actually. That would give you way more damage. I know we're using a lot of extra stuff here, right? But I'm still happy with this. Originally, I wasn't actually going to record this. This was just something I was going to do on my own, but then I thought, well, what if it's actually good and then I'm going to feel bad for not recording it? One thing that I absolutely love about this is that even though we are running Vial Acceleration, which cranks up the fire rate like crazy, but, you know, also the DPS, we are not running into any ammo issues despite not... Oh, Acolyte time. Despite not running ammo mutation. Malice, my dude, I'm not actually expecting much from this. The Ignis has never been a great single target weapon. Yeah, I mean, it's decent, but it's nothing amazing. Bit of mixed combat here. Both the shield boys and the Grenier are going down reasonably fast, you know? Again, very nice and smooth. Oh, ho, ho. Sit down, Sentients. Wowee, yeah, that's good. That's good stuff. No major complaints so far. Like, the single target is not great. I guess that's a complaint, but yeah, it's an Ignis Wraith. Like, the single target's never gonna be amazing. Ammo is super consistent, once again, very nice. I mean, I've used worse, but I use some weird stuff, so that doesn't really tell you much. At the end of the day, you can just run a secondary weapon that's specialized in, like, one-shot type damage, right? You don't have to kill everything with a primary, you can just run a nice big hand cannon. This is just good across the board. Like, so far, everything we fought has been incredibly smooth. We have the Murmur, Corrupted, Grenier, and Corpus, and it's going to be good against the Infested as well. I can tell you that, even though I haven't tested it yet. I'm going to call this a success. I can't think of anything else I would want to do here, so let's wrap it up. So, here's an alternative build for the Ignis Wraith using the new primary Crux, and I say an alternative build because the original Hunter Munitions Vital setup is still very good. We have Serration for base damage, a Galvanized Chamber for multi-shot, a Rifle Elementalist for more blast damage or status damage, but its skills are blast damage. Then we have Galvanized Aptitude for status chance and condition overload, Primed Cryo Rounds which combines with the base heat from the Ignis into Big Blast, Malignant Force and High Voltage is there for corrosive damage and status chance, and we have Vile Acceleration for a ton of fire rate. The star of the show for this build is the new primary Crux Arcane, which adds a ton of base status chance, which helps us proc corrosive and blast, adding a ton of damage and much faster armor strip, but also a ton of ammo efficiency, which allows us to run Vile Acceleration and sustain our ammo even without using any form of mutation. This means that if you want to, you can actually invest into Sinister Reach for the Exiles to get a longer beam. It is less of a standalone setup that I usually go for, though we have a lot of help here. We have 2 Emerald Archon charts, so our corrosive procs can strip the enemy armor on their own. We don't need any additional help. We're running Arcane Avenger for a bit of extra crit on top, which is very nice with the 2.5x crit multi. We have Nourish for a bunch of Vital, and we're running a pet, in my case that was Good Boy Harold with Electricity and Blast. There are numerous things that I really like about this setup. The damage is really good, it has a ton of AoE, the ammo sustain is great, and I like that I don't have to aim down sights all the time. Also, it has almost non-existent ramp up because you have most of your power right off the bat. You just need to hit a few enemies in the weak point, which with the flamethrower is pretty easy. And then once you get a couple of kills, yeah, you do get more power, but you don't need it to start killing stuff like with some setups. So I would absolutely recommend you give this a shot. And as always guys, I thank you very much for watching and I hope you've enjoyed the video. Then I would also like to extend a special thank you to all the channel members. Thank you very much guys, I really appreciate your support, it means a lot to me. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.